Alrighty, welcome to Ecosystem Wednesday, everyone. We do this every month where we get together with an external team that's building on Gnosis Chain, and we have them invite them on to do a product demo. So today we're super excited to have Mark from Fuji Finance. So just a quick piece of background here. Fuji is a cross-chain lend and borrow optimizer. The platform analyzes thousands of lend and borrow terms across multiple lending markets, protocols, and chains to provide users with the best rates. And as mentioned, Fuji just recently launched on Gnosis Chain. So yeah, we're extremely excited to be joined by Mark from the Fuji team for a product demo. And Mark, why don't you take this opportunity to introduce yourself and then, show us what's going on with Fuji Finance.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Thank you for having the team to come and chat. Super excited about it, and we've loved having Gnosis integrated in our product. Quick intro on myself. Been in the crypto space for a while now. I guess like personally started investing back in like 2014. Been working full time in the space since 2017. Helped to build one of the first MVPs on Omise Go's Plasma back in like 2018, which is like feels like ages ago at this point. Back when Omise Go was still like a thing. And then co-founded a company called Numio, built one of the first ZK rollup wallets. And then about last year, maybe like 8 or 9 months ago, was looking to find my next opportunity. And the Fuji team basically scooped me up as soon as they could to help out on the BD side of things. So been helping out there basically ever since then. And it's been quite exciting. Outside of that, just like an active contributor myself, was one of the first contributors for Index Scoop back when they launched. And just a big fan of, I guess, anything that's with regards to Ethereum scaling. So been a big fan of Gnosis, and I guess back when it was previously known as XDAI. So super excited to be here and to talk more about Fuji, who we are, and sort of what we're building, and obviously how we're contributing to the Gnosis ecosystem. So if you'd like, I'll start to share my screen, and we can dive directly into more of what we're building.
Yeah, go for it. And yeah, great to have you. Thanks for that backstory. It's always fun to hear, how people kind of got into crypto and what they've been up to. Just a quick aside. I remember when Index Coop launched, and there was another protocol. I forget the name. It was something Index something, and it was super small team, really interesting. They're also doing like, index coins, basically like a basket.
Mm-hmm.
And they got hacked by like a 14-year-old. And
Yes,
you remember them? Yeah,
I do remember that. That
yeah.
was a oh god, there was a lot of drama with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like still ongoing up until like maybe like this past year. I don't even know where it's at this point.
Yeah, they went after the 14-year-old to legally, which was pretty confusing. But anyways, great to have you, Mark. Yeah, go ahead and share your screen. We'd love to check out the product demo.
Awesome. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. I'll take that as a yes.
Yep, we can see it.
Beautiful. Awesome. So yeah, this is Fuji's V2. So when you first come into the website, this is essentially what you have. Normally, you'll have like the full onboarding screen where it sort of talks a little bit about what the product is, how it works, connecting your wallet. Obviously, I already have my wallet connected. And what you can essentially do is you can go and basically see all of the different types of rates for different types of vaults across a variety of different chains. And you're able to find which market or which vault is able to provide the best borrow rate, or obviously, if you're a lender, the best lending rate. And so, for example, if you have ETH as collateral and you're trying to take out a loan in USDC, there's a variety of different types of vaults. So obviously, Gnosis, if you weren't aware, has the best borrowing rate. It also has a really, really powerful, just like base rate, which right now is 1.3%, which is incredibly competitive. But there's also liquidity mining rewards. So that even makes it even more juicy. So you can go and basically see the different types of vaults that are provided across all of these different networks. And you can go and choose which vault that you want to go and interact with based off of what your preferences are. So if you just want to go and sort of interact on Ethereum, like this one has Compound V2, Aave V3, and Aave V2, you can go and rebalance between those markets. Or you can go and just say, okay, I want to go to whichever market is providing the best rate. In this case, it's Gnosis. And then you can go and do that for pretty much any type of market pair of your choice. So if you want to start using different types of LSTs like Wrap Stake ETH, CB ETH, R ETH, sort of the list goes on, you can go and use those. We also have other ways or other strategies that you can even use. Like in this case, we have Wrap Stake ETH as your collateral, and you're taking out a debt position in the Gnosis coin or Gnosis token, GNO. And you might be wondering, okay, cool. Why would I potentially want to do that? That allows you to, well, basically create different types of strategies. Because right now, let's say you're borrowing at 40% base. You can essentially go and take the Gnosis that you've received from that and go and stake it and start to earn yield on your Gnosis and basically automatically repay your debt position and essentially put your money to work and improve your capital efficiency. A lot of these things that we're offering are allowing you to do that, whether you're just going and taking out a debt position or you want to go and improve your capital efficiency by like taking, let's say, a looped position as an example. We have a few vaults that are supported to create some of these, like with Wrap Stake ETH, CB ETH, and R ETH, where you can go and create a looped position and improve or take a leveraged position on the yield that you're able to generate from ETH in this example. And you could potentially do the same thing with like a staked version of Gnosis if that's supported in the future. So those are some of the things that you can do with borrowing. With lending, it's sort of the same thing where we're able to go and rebalance positions between multiple providers to help to give you the best rate possible. So if you wanted to go and interact with one of these vaults, you can go and do so, and you can deposit and withdraw to pretty much any supported chain. And when there is a disparity in the market, so let's just look at this one as an example. So we're going to go and tap on USDC. You can go and see what the changes in the rates are for the market historically. So that allows you to see, okay, at this point in time, there is probably a rebalance that occurred at that point because there was a significant disparity in the market. And then when Aave V3 spiked up to about 7.5%, that vault would then be rebalanced again to make sure you're always getting the best rate. So that's just one of the ways that we can help users with like sort of like a set it and forget it type of strategy to make sure that they're getting, well, the best rates possible at every point in time. Obviously, as this sort of evolves, you're able to go and search for a specific token or a specific protocol that you're looking for, or you can even filter things out by the specific network that you want to go and interact with. In this case, let's say I want to go and interact with the like the Wrap Stake ETH USDC vault or the Wrapped ETH USDC vault or the Wrap Stake ETH Gnosis vault. You can go and just search for specific vaults on an individual chain. You can also go and do that for the lending as well. So let's say right now for USDC, you can go and select that. let's say I want to deposit my USDC from another chain. I believe I actually have some on Arbitrum. I'm going to go and say I want to deposit 10 USDC into, it's going to be sent to Gnosis, and it'll be sent to Agave. And what I will do is I will click on approve. I'm going to use the default. Click next, approve, and then I'll click on deposit, and it'll show essentially what's going to be going on in the background. So I'm going to be taking 10 USDC. It's going to be bridged from Arbitrum to Gnosis Chain using the Connext bridge. And then from there, it will go and deposit to Agave on Gnosis with that bridged USDC. And it will also tell you what the cost of all of this is, the time for it to be completed, as well as the slippage for the actual bridging process. So I'll tap on confirm. Oh, do I not have any ETH in Arbitrum? Oh, goodness. Well, I guess I don't have ETH on Arbitrum, so I guess I won't be able to do that. I don't have enough. I only have 50 cents. Okay. So, but that's basically what that process would look like. I've been doing a little bit of testing on this wallet. So it looks like I've drained a little bit of my Arbitrum ETH. So when you're going and doing some of these operations, you would essentially be able to go and execute some of those transactions basically to and from any chain. And let's say that I wanted to go and do the same operation with a debt position. Let me see if I have wrapped ETH on. So I have wrapped ETH on Ethereum. All right, so let me see something. I am going to see if I can do this. I'm going to switch to Optimism, and I'm going to select this. I'm going to deposit. Is it the wrapped ETH? All right, well, I don't know if that's going to work on this one. So I need to get more wrapped ETH in there. I've been playing around with the app a little bit too much. But I think you sort of get the feel for sort of how that essentially operates. Yeah, so that's essentially how the product works. You can go and basically see different types of positions that you have, whether it's borrowing or lending. You're able to go and see what your deposits are, what the yield is that you've generated on the account, and then you can go and manage them directly from the dashboard. And yeah, so that's just like a quick overview in terms of what we're building. Some of the things that we have coming out next, we're going to be introducing additional vaults or additional LST vaults. So people can go and basically create different types of looped strategies or just creating different types of DeFi strategies by leveraging Fuji as a whole. So that's essentially who we are and what we're building. So I will take a quick little pause to see if there's any questions from the community, or I know we have a couple team members from Fuji in here as well. If anyone wanted to add anything else on top of sort of what I've discussed and what I've mentioned, I will let you all sort of jump in and take the floor. But yeah, thank you all for taking some time to listen and hear a little bit more about who we are and what we're building.
Yeah, super cool. Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah, this would be a good time for if there are other Fuji team members who want to jump in, then go for it. But if not, then we'll do a quick AMA.
Sure. Just want to introduce myself. Hi, everybody, and thanks for the invite from the Gnosis community. I actually run validators, so I just want to say that I contribute to the Gnosis community by doing that. Yeah, Fuji. I think Mark, you did a great job. Yeah, I think essentially we just want to make borrowing and lending easy for all users, and it's been a process to get there, but I think we're getting closer. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to present our app.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for making the time. Okay, great. So if anyone has a question, you can just unmute your mic and ask, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can go ahead and type your question into the chat over on the right-hand side, and I can ask for you. And I can also kick it off with a question if no one has any immediate, like pressing concerns. We got Pedro. I guess while Pedro types, I have a quick question about the safety ratings over there on the right-hand side. Can you tell us a little bit more about, what goes on with the safety rating, how you come up with those distinctions?
Sure, that actually might be best to be answered by Daigaro, who's actually on the call. He's been spearheading a lot of the momentum there. We're actually working on building the first generalized risk framework for lending markets, just in general. And he's been working pretty closely, or I should say, we've been working pretty closely with RiskDAO to sort of kickstart that framework, and also been receiving contributions for this from Gauntlet Network as well as Three Sigma. So yeah, Daigaro, I'll let you sort of jump in and talk a little bit more about what we've been doing there.
Sure. So just like as a little background on why we decided to start putting safety ratings, was that in our version 1, obviously we were aggregating all money markets at the same level, and we were getting feedback from users in where there were particular money markets where they didn't want their funds to be commingled with. So that made us realize that, unlike how DEX aggregators, they can just aggregate all AMMs, seems to be no difference as long as they provide the cheapest trade route. In money markets, your funds sit in the money market themselves for a longer time, and it is concerning if your funds are at risk, right? So, I mean, it was natural that users were, well, if this money market can be hacked, I don't want, even if they're offering the best rate, I don't want my funds commingled with that. So on V2, we took a different approach in where we started to consider, well, we should segregate them like by tiers, like higher tier, like those money markets who people think are the safest, and other money markets who, well, people think, they're more risky, so they should be rated lower. That made us realize that we have to, what is there a framework out there to like give a rating for the money markets? And we realized that there was none, and that's how we sort of started work on this. Among the things that we consider is three main categories. So the first one is the governance risk, essentially who controls the money market, and if it's like in terms like you can think about it, what is the economic power you need to have to manipulate this money market in a way that, for example, Compound, you need, I don't remember the exact number, but you need like 4 million comp tokens to make a proposal, and basically you can change the LTVs and screw all the other users. Like to give an example, right? Aave has a similar threshold. Other money markets, I mean, right now they're even controlled by the team that is that manages the project. So actually, there's no governance, but you just depend on the team acting on good faith. And this is the first category. The second one, obviously, is the security code. I think this is what a lot of people are familiar with. Like, has the contracts of that money market have been audited? Has that money market have been hacked in the past? How long has it been since the last hack? Have they had near misses in where they updated a parameter but they did it wrong and it was possible to hack it? And the third category is like the active management of the money market, because I don't think we're at a state where money markets are set and forget, but they are actively managed, and that's what Gauntlet and chain analysis and other teams do. Like, they're actually seeing what's happening with the market, what volatility, and they're actively deciding if they should remove collaterals, add collaterals, and essentially this is called the economic risk of the money market, and that's the third category that should be considered. So with all this, we sort of scored it. It's a work in progress that we are doing, but we want to create like a single score from all these pieces of information in where we get a final rating. So maybe a long answer for for a for a question, but that's sort of what's going on behind those ratings right there.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. No, I mean that's the answer I was looking for. And at Gnosis, like we're always thinking about the user and empowering the user. So it makes a lot of sense. I have more questions, but I don't want to take up too much space. So gonna just pause for a second to let other people potentially ask a question here. Cool. From Johnny Quest, we have a question. Any plans to add Gnosis specific assets like SGNO?
Maybe Mark, I can answer this. This is a really good question. Actually, we asked the same question to the Agave team some weeks ago. As far as we understand, well, first, Fuji is we're an aggregator of the money market. So if a specific type of token is not supported by the underlying lending market, we cannot support it because we are not the money market itself. Perhaps that comes in the future, but we at the moment is not our kind of product strategy. And if an asset can be supported, depends if in this case Agave supports it or not. So we know, and actually maybe it's a good time to ask the question I wanted to ask is when there's more money markets in the Gnosis ecosystem, I think there will be more variety, even competitiveness in offering better interest rates. And that will, kind of incentivize us to bring in more assets. As far as SGNO, we know that the Stakewise team is working on a version 3, and that is why the Agave team is sort of waiting for this release, so they support the new asset full on.
Nice. Yeah, thanks. I have a quick question about automation. So I guess it's like twofold. One is, to what extent are these like operations able to be automated on chain? And then the second part of my question is, like, let's say I am interested in building one of these loops because I'm thinking about like I want to be protected by and maybe I have this wrong, but I want to be protected if the market moves against me. I want to be pulled out of that position like automatically. So like something like a delta neutral position. So I want to go long and short, or I want to borrow and lend at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would that be possible in an automated way? If not, I could do that probably in a manual way. And is there a way to like track my position on a dashboard with Fuji?
Yes. So to answer your first question, in terms of automation, we actually use a keeper network. So that is analyzing all of the information that is occurring off chain. So it's going and looking at the different market rates and the interest rates, deposit rates, whatever it may be. That's being analyzed by a keeper network basically constantly. And when this keeper network notices that there is a disparity in the market, that will trigger an on-chain action. In this case, it will trigger a flash loan that will rebalance a position from money market A to money market B. And the disparity that we look at is we use a number of 50 basis points. We've done a lot of back testing, finding that that's generally like the most optimal number. And once that occurs, the position is rebalanced, and you will have to wait about 24 hours until the next rebalance can occur. After 24 hours, once there is another disparity in the market, then that rebalance will be able to occur well again, continuing to give you the best rates. So that's what we're essentially doing there in terms of automatic rebalancing. We're actually using Open Zeppelin's Defender. We actually made a tweet or posted a tweet about what we're doing there. Let me see if I can grab the link. Here, I'll send it in the chat. So that's essentially what we're doing there. And then the follow-up question you mentioned was around specific strategies. Is that correct? Just to make sure that I'm remembering properly.
Yeah, like could I build something that would be similar to a delta neutral position of going long and short, but instead I'm
Got it. Okay. Yes. So yes, you actually can. You can have multiple positions created. At least for right now, we don't necessarily have too many positions where you can use like a stable coin as your collateral, so you won't be able to necessarily have like a delta neutral position. But so like right now you're able to have like wrapped ETH, or technically you could have Gnosis as a as collateral, or some of these other blue chips. I mean, we can go and add positions that allow you to have like a stable coin as collateral and taking out a loan and other assets to basically go short on it if you want. Because obviously with how the vaults are set up currently, you can go long on all of those positions. So that's just like an option for you. Technically, we can do that. We would just have to create the vaults and add them to the dashboard to allow you to do that. And then in terms of how you manage it, we have a page on the application, which is called the My Positions page, where you can go and actively view what is essentially going on with all of your positions, because you can have multiple positions on multiple chains. And if you do that, you can easily go and see what your LTV ratio is, what your liquidation price is, and how to make sure you're keeping your position healthy. And we want to make that as simple as possible. We are also going to be introducing a tool which is called Flash Close, which allows you to basically close out a position with a flash loan, so you can sell all or part of your collateral essentially in one click. Later on, we'll also have liquidation protection. So if you are going and doing these long and short delta neutral positions, we'll have a liquidation protection mechanism where you can set your threshold that you want to allow your collateral to go to, or what you want your LTV ratio to get to. And if that happens, this keeper network will see that off chain, and then we'll go and execute a script on chain, which is this flash close operation, and close out your position automatically for you to prevent you from being liquidated. So those are, I guess, some of the things I would say that should answer those questions.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot. And how does Keeper operate under conditions of like, extreme volatility? Does it do okay?
Yeah. I mean, volatility is perfectly fine. That doesn't really impact it. Realistically, for our product itself, we are better when the market is more volatile, like when rates are more volatile, because that means market rates are changing very quickly or very consistently. And that allows us to continue to refinance positions and just rebalance them to make sure you're getting the best rates. And you don't have to do it at all. We do that for you in the background.
Very nice. That kind of answers Mert's question too about flash loans, but just to circle back, does Fuji allow for cross-chain flash loans?
Ooh, good question. That is a great question. So, not currently. That is something that we're working towards. So, a cross-chain flash loan isn't technically possible because it has to be asynchronous. And with what we can essentially do is mimic the operation of a cross-chain flash loan because of some of the underlying technology that we're using. So we're building on top of Connext and their bridge. So we can use what are known as like nested calls, and we can call an operation from chain A to chain B and can essentially say that we're going to repay this position on chain A after we have completed an operation on chain B. So we can kind of mimic the concept of a cross-chain flash, or we can mimic the concept of how it works. Is it a flash loan? No, because a flash loan has to be closed in the same block. But we're able to mimic that same operation. So we can actually go and move positions cross-chain and actually do cross-chain rebalancing. That's something that we're actually planning on introducing probably in towards the end of Q4 of this year, where we actually built a product last year in a hackathon, which actually inspired our V2, where we built the first cross-chain migration tool or debt teleporter, I should say. The first cross-chain debt teleporter. So it allowed you to take a debt position from Aave on chain A and teleport it to Aave on chain B. And by doing that, we're essentially mimicking like a cross-chain flash loan. And so we're going to be introducing that capability to Fuji. So instead of the optimizations only occurring on these isolated chains, we can now optimize these positions cross-chain to make sure you're always getting the best rates possible.
Awesome. We are running up against the half hour, so I think we'll wrap it up here if that's all right. Mark and the rest of the Fuji team, thank you so much for making the time to come on and talk with us. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the community? Any links or any upcoming events?
Not necessarily any upcoming events. What I'll do is I will share our website. I'll also share a link to the application. Definitely recommend checking it out. Please join our Discord if you have any questions or anything of that manner. Like if we talked about anything today and you're like, I need to find out more information about this, please feel free, come reach out to us, let us know. We want to chat. So I've sent some links about that in the general voice chat. So feel free, check that out, and look forward to chatting with you all in the future. And we are super excited to be building alongside the Gnosis ecosystem. And if there's any like product features or any types of specific vaults or strategies that you guys want, please let us know. We want to hear, because we're not really building this product for ourselves. We're building this for you and for the community. So thank you guys for listening, and look forward to chatting with you all soon.